There is breaking developments in this whole Brian Laundrie search, and y'all, we here to discuss. We gonna break it down and we gonna talk. Real talk.
Week 5 in the search for Brian Laundrie, and for over a month we have seemingly had no trace. Well, now story. So here is what we know right now. We know that Brian Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, said last night that they were going back to the reserve to look for Brian. This morning, the FBI and local police joined them, and we know per the family's attorney, per the Laundrie family attorney, that they did find some remains in an environmental park in that area, some remains of items that the attorney has confirmed those items belong to Brian Laundrie. Now, another piece of information that we just learned per a senior law enforcement official, they say that there appears to be partial human remains that have been found in the Carlton Reserve. We know that part of the challenge earlier on in this investigation was that the water levels in that reserve were high. The water levels have since gone down and have revealed those remains. We don't know to whom those remains belong. So what we know, items belonging to Brian Laundrie have been found, attributable to their attorney. The Laundrie family attorney says those items belong to Brian Laundrie. And we know that partial human remains have been found in that Carlton Reserve. And Morgan, I've been talking to experts about this because it has been such a long time in this search and it hadn't been fruitful until now. I spoke to a former FBI agent who is an expert on this, and I asked her, how could someone realistically stay under the radar for this long? And what she told me is that there are only a few scenarios here for a person to evade law enforcement for such an extended amount of time. Either one, they are a person who is extremely prepared or has knowledge of law enforcement investigative techniques in order to be able to stay hidden for this long, or they are receiving help from somebody else. And the last option is someone that the person is deceased and simply has not been found. And she told me that Brian Laundrie had no record with or experience with police that we know of. It's unlikely that he read up on investigative techniques from the FBI. So in her view, the two options were that he was receiving help or that he was deceased and simply has not been found. We don't have clear-cut answers yet, but it seems like what we are learning today might end up in a resolution here shortly, Morgan.
There is no confirmation the remains belong to Brian Laundrie. The remains were found near a backpack, according to this source, which may be consistent with the type of items Laundrie may have had in his possession. Laundrie's parents directed the FBI agents and Northport police to the location where some articles belonging to Brian were found, according to the statement by Laundrie's attorney. Let's read that again. Laundrie's parents directed the FBI agents and the police to the location where these articles were found? I'm just going to say, don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Okay. Chris and Roberta Laundrie went to the environmental park this morning to search for Brian, their attorney said. The FBI and Northport Police Department were informed last night of Brian's parents' intentions, and they met Chris and Roberta there this morning. After a brief search off a trail that Brian frequented, some articles belonging to Brian were found. Well, how convenient. As of now, law enforcement is conducting a more thorough investigation of that area. So, it's been this long. Now, all of a sudden, the parents, who have not showed one sign, one inkling of emotion whatsoever, them parents have now directed them, and they just all of a sudden, oh, here's this stuff, just magically appears. Now look, I'm going to tell you something. I have said this from the jump. If your child is missing, If your child is in fact truly missing, your ass is going to say something, speak up, get out there and look for them, cry, squall, plead. You're going to do something besides just sitting in your house, mowing your yard, gardening, living your lives. You're going to do something. You're going to get off your ass and go look for your son. You're going to say something. You're going to plead with the media like, hey, my son's missing. My son is missing. They haven't done that. Not one time. That right there is the most suspicious thing and the most sketchy thing in this whole investigation. To me, in my opinion, it's sketchy as hell. The local medical examiner and a canine unit trained to find human remains were called to the scene, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office said. Oh my God, when I just read that, y'all know what that reminded me of? Live PD. I missed some Live PD. Did y'all ever watch that? I know that is so off the subject, but I miss Live PD. They need to bring that back on the air. They really do. I mean, they are airing old episode of Cops. Why don't they air episodes of Live PD? Why not? Y'all, the Carlton Reserve and neighboring environmental park are within short drives north of the Laundrie family home. Now, Brian Laundrie is still considered a person of interest in the disappearance of Gabby Petito, but an arrest warrant was issued for him after authorities said he used her debit card without permission. Her body was discovered on September 19th at the Spread Creek Dispersed Camping Area in the Bridger-Teton National Forest in Wyoming, and a coroner ruled her death a homicide by manual strangulation. Oh, and another thing, not only has his parents not been crying and pleading and wondering and out there searching for their son or even talking about it, the sister, we all see how the sister acting. We all see how she's like, well, I haven't talked to him. Well, your ass hadn't said my brother is missing. I have a brother, and my ass would be online going, y'all, here, my brother is missing. Please help find him. I would be squalling. I would be upset. They ain't upset. They're just like living life. Another day. That's odd. Is that not odd? Now, Laundrie's parents have kept a low profile ever since, telling investigators their son went hiking September 14th and never returned, sparking a national manhunt. During the search for a 22-year-old Long Island woman, police in Moab, Utah released body cam video capturing a distraught Gabby Petito following an alleged physical altercation with Laundrie. See, that pisses me off. An alleged? Hell, you have witnesses call in. Let me remind you. They had witnesses physically watching this go down. They stated they seen Brian Laundrie hit Gabby. They stated that in the 911 call. When they pulled the van over, when the Moab police, when they pulled the van over, they didn't say nothing about that 911 call. Let me remind you all of that. They never asked, hello, we got a 911 call. What are y'all doing? The 911 caller said that they seen such and such, such and such. I would put it out there. You just gonna sit there and, figure out what they gonna say, what lie they gonna tell? When I say they, I mean Brian. And she was covering for him. Because, look. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship, you understand. Sometimes it's just better to, go along to get along, I guess. Because sometimes if you make a bigger situation out of something, that abuser can attack in retaliation, if that makes sense. I'm just saying, a lot of the times the victims are scared to death. Now, look, I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, if you're in an abusive relationship, just leave, just get out. It's not that easy. It's really not. And if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, you understand. Now, granted, I will say there is help out there, and I will link the resources in the description below. But the police should be well aware and trained to handle these types of situations. I mean, not every time, not every domestic violence situation is a female going to say, yeah, he hit me. Not every time. A lot of the times, them females are going to cover up for their abuser in fear that they might be abused more or worse. Look what happened.